My name is Dr. Shreya Kapoor. I'm an internal medicine physician and I practice here in Pittsburgh. I wanted to share some recipes which I have found helpful as well as healthy. And the key to me is to ensure my food is not only wholesome and nutritious, but also quick to make. So here is a recipe for Masala Salmon, which takes less than 10 minutes to prep and is ready in the oven in close to 20-25 minutes. So my goal is to accomplish as many tasks as possible because I have very limited time cooking, as do all of you. So I am going to put the fish in the oven, and for those 20-25 minutes that it cooks, I'm going to take care of some other chores. So let's get started with our Masala Salmon. Most of the ingredients that I have are from Costco. I tend to do a lot of my shopping at Costco because it is, I find it to be efficient. So let's get started. So first thing first, I have a baking tray here and I'm going to line it with some aluminum foil. Right. So I'm going to use 2 pieces of aluminum foil just to make sure that it's going to be easy for me to clean up afterwards. Often I will use disposable aluminum trays to bake just because cleanup after baking can be quite difficult. But today I'm going to use this tray and I find it more economical as well as environmentally friendly to line a reusable tray. So here is some olive oil. I have just 1 tablespoon for 2.5 pounds of fish. So this is very little fat. If you have diabetes, if you have high cholesterol, this should not affect your levels. But remember that portion control is just as important as cooking healthy. So let's get started. 1 tablespoon olive oil. I'm gonna add a juice of half a lemon to this. And this is my marinade that I'm going to use for my fish. In the meantime, I have turned my oven on and I have set it at 350 degrees. And while the oven is warming up is when I am prepping my fish. Ideally, you should marinate fish longer, but I find that fish is very easy to marinate. So even a couple of minutes will give you the necessary marinade. And I don't stress if I don't have enough time to marinate because the fish will still turn out pretty juicy as long as you include just a little bit of fat, whether it's olive oil, whether it's butter, whatever you prefer in your marinade. So once this is added, I'm gonna add some garlic to the marinade and I'm gonna add about a spoonful of garlic. I'm just using my knife to add this. So about a teaspoon of garlic. Again, this is garlic purchased from Costco. I typically use fresh garlic because I find that this large jar of garlic is hard to use quickly and it goes bad very quickly. I also find it a little bit sour to taste. So I feel like fresh garlic is the way to go, but I'll use this in a pinch. Now I'm gonna add my spices to this. Like many Indians, I have a masala box, a spice box that has common Indian spices in it. I don't know if you can see this, but there is all kinds of good stuff. There is turmeric, a staple, cumin, salt, garam masala, pepper, paprika or Kashmiri red mirchi powder, and coriander powder. So what I'm gonna do is add a little bit of each of these to my marinade. So I'm gonna add just 1/4 teaspoon of haldi, 1/4 teaspoon pepper, I would say a full spoonful of salt, but this is according to your taste. You don't want to overdo salt because salt will lead to hypertension. It's also not a good bet for patients who have heart failure, liver disease, cirrhosis, or kidney failure. So go easy on the salt. I'm gonna add a little bit of paprika, and that's it. Cumin, I added about half a spoonful. Now, most of these spices are very healthy, and they're good for patients who have hypertension and other illnesses. The spice that you want to be wary of is salt. Salt is not a good option for patients who have any of the illnesses I mentioned above. So here are my 2 beautiful fillets of salmon. Again, these are from Costco. It's efficient. I got a good amount of fish, and the whole family eats them. So now I'm gonna brush my marinade on for starters. So I start by brushing the marinade, but eventually I'll get in with my hands because honestly that's the best way to massage that marinade into the fish. Any kind of meat, whether it's fish, whether it's chicken, is muscle. And as with our muscles, they're malleable when we massage them. So fish is no different. I want to get in there. I want to massage in this marinade so it gets into those muscle fibers, makes them tender and juicy, and cooks better fish. And again, I do not have enough time to let the marinade sink in, so I'm just going to do a quick marination and then put this fish in the oven. So as soon as my oven rings the right temperature, I'm going to put the fish in. A good rule of thumb for fish, especially when cooking in with masalas, is to wait until the oven reaches the right temperature. That's my cue. So I'm going to put this in. I'm gonna do it for 25 minutes. And that's it. I'm free for the next 25 minutes. I can take care of other chores. And I would like to just give you some helpful tips. So, as I mentioned, you want to cook fish once the oven reaches the right temperature. I used to, when I used to be in a hurry, just put the fish in while the oven was still warming up, but this would actually dry out the fish because it prolongs the time the fish is in the oven. And it also starts to cook the fish at a lower temperature, and that's not what you want. So wait until the oven reaches the right temperature, then put the fish in. You're free for the next 25 minutes. Take care of a salad if you want to have accompaniments, or if you have other chores like me, I'm gonna go full laundry. But efficient cooking is, I think, the best form of cooking because that's when you actually do it regularly. Whereas if cooking is very involved, you're not going to be able to do it very often. So if there's one tip I want to give to all of you for healthy eating, it's to cook quickly and efficiently. If it's quick, you'll do it. This was faster than ordering takeout for me, easier. I didn't have to deal with a delivery driver. I didn't have to give directions. There was no variable. I just put the fish in the oven and I'm done. So cook yourself, make it simple, efficient cooking. Pay attention to the salt content. Pay attention to the amount of oil or fat you add. Spices, on the other hand, for the most part, will not cause damage unless you are on a medication like warfarin, which tends to interact with a lot of different spices, foods, substances in general. So again, this is not official medical advice. Everything I mentioned here, I want you to double check with your primary care physician, your physicians in general. But rule of thumb, low salt intake, low fat intake. Cook yourself. You have control over what goes in your body. It's cheaper, it's healthier, it's faster. So I will be back with some more recipes that I use commonly in my kitchen. And until then, goodbye. I will see you in a bit with the finished version of my salmon.